Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. And I've been meaning for quite some time to do several videos just kind of assessing certain historical figures. Um, Martin Luther King being one of them. I know y'all are going to hate that when I do that, but I'm going to do it anyway because the truth hurts. Um, but also, I've just been wanting to do one on Oprah Winfrey. I've been procrastinating for a long, long time, for years now, because number one, my channel wasn't doing anything. But I'm gonna be honest with you now. After seeing Gayle King interview Sean Carter, aka Jay Z, I just can't take it anymore. I really can. I cannot take the BS anymore from these people. And when I say these people, I'm talking about Oprah Winfrey and her friend Gayle King. It's just ridiculous. So let me just say this. Let me start off by saying this. Um, as you probably can tell, I pretty much loathe Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King. And it's for particular reasons. And I can go on and on and on, but I'm trying to keep my content short just to kind of keep people engaged. But if you want details, then definitely, and I'll say this right now, hit the like and subscribe button. That's number one, so that we can get a lot more people into the debate on this subject. That's number one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the notification bell. But also, too, leave comments. And if there's anything additional you want me to address, I'll address them in the comments, and y'all can look at the thread, and or I'll do a follow-up video to this. But Oprah's just been, and I'm pretty sure what I'm going to say right here is not something that people don't already know about Oprah. Oprah is probably the biggest step and fetcher in the game. Very pro-feminist, which is fine, but she's not pro-black at all. Contradiction. She just has so many just contradictions with herself. She holds herself up is this morally correct person just because she has $1 billion and she's not. So let me give you all several examples. And first, let me just kind of give people a background on Oprah. And this, from what I can recall, I do believe that Oprah at one time had a substance abuse issue. I don't know that for sure, but definitely look that up. And it was a big one too. It was the black people's drug of choice of the 80s. That's what she was supposedly doing. I think it was Freebase, I think. But Google it, look it up, because that's going to tie into what I'm going to say as it pertains to Mr. Sean Carter. So, but apparently Oprah did. I don't know how bad her situation was. I don't know. Maybe she was just recreational using, because a lot, like I told y'all before in my previous videos, there's a lot of people that use heavy drugs and they can control themselves. And there are a lot of people that use heavy drugs and they cannot. Those are typically the ones that you see doing the lean up on 125th and Lenox, back in the day. Those became the poster child, but it's doctors, lawyers, all kind of professionals that do hardcore drugs. But let me just kind of go into Oprah, because I know y'all get tired of me rambling in the beginning. So, like I said, I do believe that Oprah had a substance abuse issue, which is going to tie into what I'm going to say about Mr. Sean Carter. When you notice Oprah has built her life. And this is where I talk about people, particularly black people. Notice everybody always say particularly or especially in the black and particularly black, but I have to say that here. When you look at black people, they just compromise themselves so much. Oprah was the hottest person in the 80s and 90s and probably even early 2000s. Oprah, and I give her credit, she built herself up. I think that she was able to amass that because I think she was given so-called rights or ownership to her show, because a lot of people didn't believe in the show. I'm talking about from the executive level. So she had a lot of control over her show. And so Oprah did a very fantastic job. But what she realized was that her base and Oprah, and this is just my personal opinion. So let me just start by saying this now. Everything I'm going to say is kind of my personal opinion. And I'm freestyling off the dome. Don't have any notes here. But what Oprah has done is, I think Oprah looked at it and said, my base is white women. White women love me. And I think it's similar to what Cynthia G, everybody knows that despicable person on YouTube, Cynthia G, and people like her. I think because before she was doing pro-black videos, just pro-black. And I think that probably didn't, and this is just again my opinion, I think that pro-black stuff maybe was doing moderately well. I don't know the metrics of her numbers, but maybe that was just kind of lukewarm numbers for her. And then she kind of possibly did a video on black men and the deficiencies of black men, and those probably took off for her. And she probably said, that's where my market is. So then she probably just focused in on that particular area. Same thing with my channel. If you look down at my channels, when I talk about pro-black stuff and historical stuff, those videos get 1 or 2 views, literally less than 2 digits. They're 1 digit views, maybe 2 digits, maybe 23 hits here, 38 here, 11 views here. They don't get hits. But as soon as I start talking about male-female dynamics, those videos get 3 digit hits. Like I said, my channel's small, very small, so I don't even get 4 or 5. I'm not doing thousands of views or tens of thousands of views like these other people. I'm doing 3 digit hits. I'll go up to 120. But those videos seem to do well for me. So, and of course I do those videos too because I'm in the dating market. But there's been times when I felt compromised to do more of those content, but I'm not. I'm going to do it equally as I see fit. So I'm saying with Oprah is I think that she saw a niche, she saw her audience, and so she said, I have to stick to a particular script. And her script was, I got to pander and cater to these white women. So here it is. These are the discrepancies that I have with Oprah. So, and I'm going to talk about her alleged substance abuse issues and then how that ties in with Jay-Z. And I'm pretty sure you all can imagine that. My biggest problem is, like, first she started out by saying, I'm not going to have any rap. She just hated rappers for whatever reason. She didn't hate rock and rollers, and rock and rollers were they were the white version of rappers, to be honest with you, tearing up, hotel rooms or just, kind of being the bad boys of the music industry and, being troubled souls, as one would say. But she denigrated a whole genre of music, basically hip hop, because of whatever reason. I don't do hip hop. She refused to have hip hop on her show initially. So I'm going to say that. Everything that came out of her mouth was negative towards hip hop on her platform because her big thing, once again, she don't care about black people. The only thing she cares about is women because she said it was misogynistic and it degraded women. But yet, she turns around and has an adult female actress, and I think adult people in the adult video industry on her show. And I'm talking one in particular was Jenna Jameson. That's what I can recall. She had Jenna Jameson on her show talking about her experiences, and Oprah didn't really go in on her, at least from what I can recall. She sat there, listened with understanding, kept the interview civil, and and once again, that's what black people do. They don't challenge white people. They don't make the situations uncomfortable for white people. But she sat there and listened to this woman. And anybody who knows the adult industry didn't just become perverted and outlandish. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about all the spitting and choking and role play and, where they degrade women on certain levels within these videos. That's been going on since the 70s, since they've been making videos. So for Oprah to not sit up here and say, well, if I'm going to treat rap a particular way, I'm also going to treat the adult industry that particular way as well, because at least with rappers, they're just talking about this stuff. This stuff is probably just make-believe that people are just talking about, and it's just braggadocious on wax. But here it is. You can actually see that someone, whether it be men and women, directors and writers of adult content, video content, are having these women do certain things in videos. And Oprah doesn't mind that, but yet she had a problem, a firm stance against hip hop and hip hop artists. That's number one. Continuing on with this theme is that when they had the movie Crash, if people don't remember the movie Crash, it had Don Cheadle in it. I think Sandra Bullock was in it. Ludacris was in it. Terrence Howard was in it. Terrence Howard was actually pretty good in that. Tandy Newton, I'm not going to call you Tandy Way. Your name is Tandy. You chose to adopt that name. You're oppressors. You wanted to be a victim. You're not a victim. But Tandy Newton was in there, and a lot of other people were in that movie. Very good movie at the time. I do believe it was won Oscars, but it was a very good movie. She wanted to have the cast of Crash on the show. She wanted to leave Ludacris from what I've heard, either it was her or her people or the network, don't know who, but Ludacris was not supposed to be on the show, or he was not really welcome or asked to be on the panel on the Oprah Winfrey show when they had the cast on the show. He gets on the show. She's talking with everyone else, giving everyone else respect and, talking with the other cast members. But then when she gets to Ludacris, she kind of takes a backhand shot at him by saying, I was surprised at your acting. I didn't expect, basically like, I didn't think you had it in you, you little Negro, you little ghetto Atlanta ghetto Negro, but you did a good job. And I'm, kind of had that approach to it. And Ludacris, you could see that he came back at her, but then it was cut. And I think it went straight to commercial from what I can recall. If you guys don't believe me, once again, do your homework. Look this up. Google Ludacris on Oprah Winfrey show during Crash and see what he says about that. Number one, she didn't want him on the panel. But then when she brought him on the panel, she treated him like crap. She'll allow Tom Cruise to jump around all over her couch and act a fool on the show, but then she treats black men like crap. And so that's just the whole evolution of this hip hop thing. But let me just even take it even a step further. Then later on in her career, all of a sudden she does a change. I guess because now she realizes that she wants to be tied in with the hip hop culture. Well, even before I even get to this, let me even say this. I think one point in time, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, I think he called Oprah out on her BS. Because he called her out and said, something to the effect of, like the way Oprah, he kind of got on her about the lack of representation or the way Oprah kind of disses rappers. Oprah went on, I don't know if it was the Ed Lover show. I think it could have been Ed Lover. But she went on the radio and then she was talking like, I like In the Club. I like hip hop music. I like In the Club. I like this. I like that. And she was talking about all of the rap songs that she likes. And she was naming 50 Cent songs. Okay. So here's my other question then, Oprah. So that means you basically listen to hip hop and you'll listen to misogynistic music in your personal life. But then when you go out in public in front of good white Christian folks, now all of a sudden it's, I hate those rappers. They're misogynistic. That's being two-faced, Oprah. That's like a person saying, I hate, black people and you like looking at, black adult content or you got a black girlfriend or boyfriend that you keep in the basement. I don't understand this. So this is just, once again, like I said, it's the contradictions of Oprah Winfrey. And then like I was going to say, so now I'm going to get back onto the subject I digress from. But then later on now in Oprah's career, as her show's winding down, and I guess maybe she's becoming less popular. I have no idea what it is. So maybe she's evolved as God evolved from the Old Testament God to the New Testament God. Maybe Oprah has evolved too. Because now first she had Russell Simmons, I think, on her show to talk about his book. But even though she was taking backhand shots at Russell too, she was treating him like a child. Then she had, I think, Sean Combs on the show. And then she opened up and I think then she had Jay-Z on her show. So here's what I'm saying all that to say this. Number one, you look at the two people that she treated like crap. She treated Ludacris like crap, and then she kind of treated Russell Simmons a little, like she kind of took him down a peg. She kind of challenged him more. And so what I'm saying by that is this. Notice Russell Simmons and Ludacris you would consider non-threatening, and I'm not trying to say anything about their manhood, but, if you're going to pick a fight with someone, I could see you challenging those two. But then when she had Diddy on the show, and then when she had Jay-Z on the show, and I guess you can probably look at them as having a little bit more street credibility as far as when you start hearing about the rumors of their past, particularly with Jay-Z. Now it's treated with a lot more respect. And, she's not going to come for him as much as she came for the other two. But the other bigger problem that I had going back to her days is, allegedly as former using heavy narcotics. Here it is. Out of all of the rappers, like I said, she demonized all rappers and brushed them with, painted them with the same brushstroke. And basically, didn't want them on her show for decades. So she treated Heavy D as if Heavy D is some kind of degenerate. She treated basically A Tribe Called Quest that way, Father MC that way. Really, Father MC, treat him like Father MC, the lady lover. She treated Brand Nubian, very pro-black. You're going to treat Brand Nubian that way. You're going to treat a lot of rappers that Queen Latifah, MC Light, Moni Love, Salt and Pepper. She painted all of them with one brush stroke, and just kind of just dismissed them. But then the people that you have on your show, like I said, and then I think she even did a one-on-one interview with 50 Cent. The people that you have on your show are the people that, you had a substance abuse issue, allegedly, I do believe. And now the people that you have on your show and that you're going to interview are going to be two people who made a career by bragging about ruining communities, Jay-Z and 50 Cent. Those are the two people that you're going to hold in high self-esteem. And the only reason why she's doing it is because people respect money. Just because they're quote unquote billionaires or close to being billionaires, she considers them her peers, regardless of what they've done in their past. And according to Jay-Z, Jay-Z has had no qualms about him selling hard narcotics in his neighborhood, the mean projects of Marcy. This is not coming from me. He's bragging on all of his records about how much narcotics he's sold. Go listen to all of his music. And and listen, I'm not trying to denigrate people. Everyone has a past. But most people don't go around bragging and making their career off of basically saying how much stuff they flooded into a community and ruined a community. And Oprah, being a black female who's, from what I can think of, who, if she did have a substance abuse issue, you should be able to say, I'm not promoting that type of behavior here. Even if that is your past, I'm not going to touch it. Because what's the difference between this past and everyone denigrating other people who've done something in their past? If somebody does something against a woman 30 years ago, but they're quote unquote a changed man, that's unforgiving. But someone selling narcotics in their community, that can be in someone's past and everyone forgives it. And they've done this with Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. So that's the problem that I have with Oprah when it comes to that whole scenario. Other scenario is too, Oprah loves taking backhand shots at the black community. Look, we haven't even touched on black men. Like I say, I can go on and on and on, but I'm at 18 minutes now, so I'm going to get ready to cut this short. She always talks about, like, I remember her making one comment before about, I think when she opened up her school in Africa, which her school had issues around, but I'm not going to totally hold Oprah against that because, she's thousands of miles away. She's on a totally different continent. And so you sometimes trust other people to run your school professionally and, things happen. So I do believe that her school did have some kind of problems, but I'm not going to hold her to that because she wasn't overseeing the day-to-day, at least not to my knowledge. So I'm going to operate under that assumption. So I'm not holding her responsible for that. But when she decided to open the school, I do recall that someone asked her a question, saying, well, why didn't you open a school here in the United States? And she basically was like, because, and she was kind of taking a hint at black people. I don't think she particularly named our community, but she was taking a jab. She was like, they don't respect it. All they want is video games and iPhones and this, that, and the third. And she basically was just like, We don't value education. We value other stuff. And this may be true. This may be true for some. This may be true for some. But there are some kids that probably would have wanted that school. But here's the problem that I have with Oprah making that statement. When was the last time have you seen on Oprah's show she had a bunch of um, nurses and a bunch of teachers and a bunch of scholars sitting around on her show just talking? She doesn't do it. She rarely does it. Her show is built off of bullcrap people in bullcrap professions. And that's rappers and actors and celebrities. That's what her show is about. So she sits up here and she's going to down kids in America for not valuing education. But she herself, just like every other American, doesn't value education. Americans just don't value education. We just don't. I'm just being honest with you. People will pay for their cell phone bills. People will pay for tickets to go to a professional basketball game or professional football game, but ask them to start paying for a tutor for their kid or ask them to start paying for services for schools, and they don't have the money. It's not that they don't have it. They just don't want to prioritize it. They don't want to cut back in their life. They got cable. They have everything else. So Oprah takes a backhand shot at people, but yet on her show, her show doesn't involve mostly talking about teachers and education and, the betterment of society and having these different non-celebrity professions on her couch. She just doesn't do that. And then, oh, by the way, too, Oprah had a show where she gave everyone in the audience what? You know what she gave everyone? I'm pretty sure you older people know. She gave everyone a brand new car. Look underneath your seat. There are keys in a deed or keys in a pink slip to a brand new car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. The whole audience, about 300 people in this audience. I think they paid over $1 million. They paid a lot of money to give everyone a brand new car. I forget what kind of car it was, but the whole audience got a brand new car. Brand new car. I don't make this stuff up. So Oprah, you didn't give everyone a book. You get a book. You get a book. You get a math book. You get a calculus book. Calculus for dummies. Underneath everybody's seat. She didn't do that. So where's your value on education, Oprah? She just doesn't do it. She can attack, and then also too, look at her. She can attack R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly. I'm gonna say this. And this is probably going to be something that's not popular to say because, to be honest with you, I don't have the facts of the R. Kelly case. I really don't. What I do know, though, is that these victims went along willingly. I mean, and it looked like, from what I saw too, remember there were times I think the family was like, where's our daughter? Our daughter's been kidnapped and this, that, and the third. And then TMZ has a camera and they walking down the hall, leaving the hotel room. The girls did not want to come home. Now, can you get on R. Kelly for probably, influencing minors at the time? I don't know how old these people were, but I think his biggest issue, his biggest downfall came because a lot of the females that he got involved with were young girls, 14, 13, in that age range. It looks bad. It really does. It looks bad. But let's make it seem like this, it wasn't like a total where I'm forcing myself upon someone. It was not that type of vibe going on. And I'm not making excuses for the guy. I'm just being honest with you. And, these young girls, especially when you listen to these Sukianas and Sexy Reds, hey, these young girls are out of control. And it just didn't start with just Sukiana and Sexy Red. These young girls they've been getting down since I was young. And they've been dating older men since I was young. It's just that his proclivities, should I say, were captured on videotape, and his proclivities of, what he likes to do, and we're not even going to talk about that. You can watch Dave Chappelle's skits to see that. It just doesn't look good, especially when you're involving a minor in those type of activities. But so there's a different vibe, but I'm saying all that to say this is that she took the time to really beat and bash R. Kelly, but when Weinstein got caught, she really didn't come out and say anything. She just didn't. Woody Allen had his things going on. She didn't come out and say anything. She waited till the black people had problems. Then she brought up the black people problems. She didn't bash the white men for it. She bashed the black men for it. And then when black women do this type of stuff, she doesn't go on TV and talk about what black women are doing. And she doesn't go on TV talking about what women, period, are doing because she's very pro-woman, her and Gail. Gail's the same way. And the reason why I'm bringing all this up, like I said, Oprah interviewed Jay-Z back in early 2000s, was letting Jay-Z and Beyonce use her yacht, I think, at one point in time. And all of a sudden, she just became best friends. It was more of I think it was a beneficial relationship. Jay-Z could expand himself to the Oprah Winfrey platform because everybody knew back in those days, once Oprah gets a hold of you, it was, once she was kind of like the Keith Lee of the entertainment world. If Oprah mentions you, you're going to skyrocket to the top. And so that relationship, Jay-Z could piggyback off that and he could benefit from the relationship. And then she could benefit because Jay-Z was him and Beyonce. He's married to Beyonce. He's the hottest person in the hip hop world. She's the hottest person in the R&B world. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, I can score and, maybe my career can get rejuvenated by me associating and tying myself to these people. And then she latched on to 50 Cent too. And like I said, you're latching on to self-proclaimed, self-adulating drug dealers. I don't make this stuff up. I could go on and on and on about Oprah Winfrey. But, I'm going to just kind of wrap this up here. This is just my opinion of her and also these kind of comments kind of, go along with Gayle King as well. But I'm going to end this here. I definitely would like to hear your guys' comments. And if you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comment section as well, and I'll answer them. I may do a follow-up video to it, or I may just kind of do replies back in the chat. But once again, this is the Political Brown Kid talking about your favorite person, Oprah Winfrey. And unfortunately, unlike Oprah Winfrey, I can't give everyone who logs into this channel a call. But what I will give you is knowledge and understanding. So once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.